All right, we're going to talk about the Integra today. I'm finally going to talk about the Integra. I'm Dennis Caco. I'm the artist of Max Boost. This comic book right here, you can get at maxboost.com. And I draw cars for a living. Well, not a living. I don't even live off of it. But I do draw these cars. They're in my comic book. Check it out, maxboost.com. But we're going to talk about the new Integra. The Integra started it all. Literally, my life started here when my car was featured. My Integra, my original Integra, was featured in Turbo magazine. Right there. Boom. That was me. Back in 1997 of June. Yeah. Right here. It's a little bright in this Turbo magazine issue. Who remembers this issue? I remember this cover. This cover was awesome. So, yeah, so we're going to go talk about the new Integra right now. And I'm hoping that the broadcast is okay. If it's slowing down, let me know. And I'm trying to, the computer's processing a few things right now. So, hopefully it's not horrible. Let me see if I could quit anything else. Let me see. Quit this. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so hopefully everything's okay. And so yeah, the new Integra. Came out of nowhere, right? So let's just talk about it. I've got a couple of slides here so you guys can check out what I'm thinking. So obviously you guys have seen this image of the front headlight. Okay, so you can already tell from the front headlight, and you guys have probably already heard this stuff, but I should have said it earlier. I could have talked about it last week. This information is probably old. I don't know. I haven't really kept up with what people are saying or what news has been coming out. But right away, those original, like, what looked like leaked pictures of an Integra Type R that kind of had a throwback retro style, this ain't it. And especially with that front open, you know, what I call the wide diamond Acura front grille. That's not it. So, but I do already love the front headlight. The trippy thing to me is that Acura went back to names, or maybe they're going back to names because they went to, you know, they did the whole kind of Euro thing where they said, you know, 3.2 RL, you know, blah 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 M3 yada yada, you know, no names, and then the Integra is literally right there underneath the headlight. And what's really cool about this is that 2022, it's being released. I mean, it's coming in a few months. It's so crazy how tight-lipped Honda really is about everything. They keep secrets really, really well. So, yeah, kind of took me aback. And if I remember correctly, I think you guys know I'm working with Honda as a licensee for toys and different merchandise and apparel and stuff like that, as an example, and with Max Boost. So I remember I was in a meeting almost 2 years ago now, over 2 years ago, because it was before COVID. And I mentioned something about the Integra coming back as a joke. And if I remember correctly, there was like a few people in the room and everyone got quiet. Like I was like the only one laughing, thinking it was a joke. But apparently, if I remember correctly, they knew at the time. And that was pretty cool. If they did, they were silent. They were like, I just remember it being awkward because I'm like, yeah, you know, if they ever, you know, they should just bring back the Integra. It'd be so awesome. Ha 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 ha. And everyone's like, and I was like, that made me go, Anyways, here we are 2 years later. It's full production. How does that happen? So, anyways, so my thoughts on it, already, like, right away, I'm excited about it. It looks already good from here. The headlight's amazing. I think it's a great design already, and you can tell that it has bold, strong lines just by looking at that edge right there. So the other thing, so the way that the stuff that's been leaking around for a hot minute is this one, right? Remember, we talked about this in Max Boost. We talked about this design, and I'm like, I like it. Why do I like this design? Because it is like a retro throwback modern version of what looks like literally an Integra. It really does to me, the DC obviously. And so I like that. I really love this design. I think it's clean. I think they could release this design right now and it would be a hit. But obviously that front bumper, that front corner headlight is not what we see right here, you know. So what do? That ain't it. And then they, one of the pictures I'm missing is the silhouette of what they revealed when they did the reveal or whatever is not of this shape. it looks more like a coupe, not a hatchback, right? I know, and as it's not a hatchback, everyone goes all together. The other thing about this, like, I don't know, man. The two-door hatches are really hard to sell, I think, right? So I don't know if they'd go back to this. And I came up with an interesting thought, though, but I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So I do like this design. I think it would sell. It would sell, but it does not fit the current Acura lineup. It doesn't fit, I don't think, even the Honda lineup. Like, it's a different car. It's all to itself, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. So this definitely ain't gonna be an Acura. That was my thought when I saw it originally, and I think I was right because of this. They're not gonna let it come to America like that. So at least that's what I think. But these little spy shots of this mule, this car is this car, dude. That's that. So explain that to me, right? So I think I have a theory. I think I have a weird theory. That's obviously a hatch, right? Look at the big glass. They didn't even cover the rear glass enough to make you not know if it was a rear. They just like literally said, here's a hatchback. So are those real? But apparently Honda Pro Jason says this has never been confirmed as a Honda, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, dude. Look. That is that. That is that. That is that. That is that. That's that. That's that. Did you get me? Did you get that? So there's a test mule running around with these amazing renders, making you think this is real. This has to be real. So why they wouldn't go through all that trouble right there without trying to really build a car or develop it? And definitely a spy shot's coming out. And those thin rear taillights, there you are. They're there. That's it. Look at the rear hatch. It's there. The shapes are there. Even that side sill, that funky side sill thing right here. I don't know if you can see the cursor, but that side sill, windowsill, is there. This car is real, dude. Now, was it a prototype? Or was it something else? So I do have one theory that I don't know if anybody said yet. But one of the thoughts that I had is it possible that Honda would release an Integra in Japan and then an Integra in the United States that are not the same? So my question is, I mean, it doesn't sound like it makes sense. Let's say this is Japan. This is going to Japan. This car is going to Japan and other places, and the United States is getting this, which is more of an Acura to me. This makes sense to me. This is probably the most... I think there's another render that's even better than this, I think. I'm not sure, but this makes sense to me that the new Integra would be more bold like this. It would look like this in the Acura lineup. It has to, in my opinion. Everybody that's wondering, is it electric? It is a what? I think that it has to... Acura is a performance... what do you call it? Technology brand. That's how they brand it, right? So precision, all that kind of stuff. And so to me, this looks like it fits in the line with everything else. So we have a new RDX, and it's got all the facets and all that stuff, and we really love it. Things amazing. And Acura's are technological achievements. That's kind of the way the brand is, you know. And so this would have to be probably what I see, and it resembles more of the silhouette that's shown. It's not the Type R. It doesn't have a wing, but the silhouette shown in the sky or whatever with the drones, I think it was, looks more like this. It's gonna look more muscular. I don't think the Acura, like the old Integra, for example, this doesn't fly in the Acura lineup to me. This cannot sit next to the new NSX and look like it's in the same design house, from the same design house. It'll look weird on the lot. This would make sense to me. Does that, it almost feels like, I don't want to say the muscularity of a Mustang because it's so not the same car, but it's going to have a heft to it. It's going to look opulent. It's going to have technology. People are asking what the powertrain is going to be. I think there's a shot it could be rear-wheel drive with electric motors in the back, depending on the size of electric motors nowadays. If anything, if it's gonna happen, and electric motors are gonna happen, or all-wheel drive is gonna happen, in my opinion, it's gonna happen in Acura before it does in Honda. So before the Type R goes four-wheel drive, unless they are going all-wheel drive already, and then if it's already happening there, then it has to happen in the Integra, in my opinion. I just think that if Honda's gonna have a technology, then Acura must have it as well. So I don't have a problem with it going all-wheel drive. I think the layout would be front engine. I think that in order to produce enough power in today's market for an Integra to have a base model, it still has to be turbo. I don't think you could go fully NA in an Acura lineup unless this thing was cheap. And I don't believe that they would make a cheap version of an Integra just to stuff Integras into the lineup at Acura. The Integra is going to have to be reasonably priced. And I think the base model Integra is going to have to be in the 30s. And you're already looking at the the TL and everything else. I mean, it's a struggle to get a really good car today in the 30s, in my opinion. And this is going to have to be better than the Civic, obviously, right? More performance oriented. So is it possible that the Integra in the United States is this car, and in Japan, it's this car? How trippy would that be? And let's say this Integra, they already said that this one is already built off the Civic platform. I've heard the rumor, I think, was that confirmed? It's built off the Civic platform? Okay, so which Civic platform do you guys think it is? It's probably, supposedly, maybe should be, like a four-door. I don't know if they'd try to release a coupe right now. What do you guys think? So Rob says they're probably around 35 to 40K. That's Type R territory, so that's gonna be, that makes sense. Is it gonna have a performance of a Type R? The Type S, I have this really weird feeling, is gonna be really fast, even though it's not a Type R. I think it's gonna be really fast as an Integra in the Acura lineup. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're going to. I think the Type R is maybe. That's the question. Will the Type R be faster than the Type S Integra? To me, I think the Type R would have to be faster than the Type S, but the Type S is going to be super close. So when you buy a Type S at the price range or 5,000 over, don't consider dealer markup just to get into an Acura. It's going to be close enough that people that aren't really trying to get, they're not taking it to the track or whatever, are going to go, I want a bit more technological, high-end feel to it. I'll go for the Acura. Now, if they go, imagine if the Integra is four-door and the Civic is four-door, then it's sort of a no-brainer that this Type S is going to have to be more expensive than a Type R. Let's see. I think, and I'm just talking out of my butt right now, I did not plan any of the things I said, other than the Japanese and the American thought idea, which I think is pretty interesting. I haven't heard anybody think that. It doesn't make sense to do it. That's very expensive on a manufacturing side, but it really bugs me that they've got renderings and cars that are already here, like this. That bugs me. And this ain't coming. Dude, there's no way this is showing up in the Acura dealerships here in the United States. And I mean, they've already proven it, right, with this render. Unless they're just messing around, but they wouldn't do that. They would not make a fake. Some people think there's a fake render, throw you off, and it'll be a different car. Nah, dude. That's not the Honda Acura way. They will tease you enough with something accurate. But yeah. And I like this a lot, by the way. This is money to me. I think a lot of all of our JDM, original tuner heads, all of us would buy this car. This is definitely 100% like, and I think it looks good in the renders. In real life, it's going to look really sick. But it has a classic look to it. It's a little old design. Like, I don't want to say like a retro modern, I don't know, whatever words you need to use, but it looks so much like the 90s Honda that it doesn't look new. This is going to be new. It's going to look good, dude. This thing is going to look sick. It's going to have edges because it's, the Acura design. So hopefully, let's see if we've got any. I'm sure you guys um, have some questions or some stuff in the comments. Let me see. So I think Loon Lee talked about the NSX type when the NSX is leaving this current body style, and they are discontinuing it. They're not replacing it with the Type S. They're actually I heard it. I think a really good rumor that Gregory GDP, I think it's confirmed, NSX from Honda themselves, that the new NSX is coming. It just feels like with the Integra coming back, the Type R coming again, the new Civic, the new NSX, like it feels like Honda and Acura are not messing around right now. It feels like they are doing and bringing back a lot of the energy and really going for it like they used to. And I'm all about it. So, and performance-wise, other than pulling out of F1 and a lot of racing because of just a lot of financial issues, they've been crushing it in, racing. And it's been amazing. Well, they're crushing it. They're killing it in F1 too. I mean, they're just absolutely doing a great job, Honda Acura. And I'm looking forward to what's coming. So, Rob says, what power plant would that Integra? So, in my opinion, I think if you're talking about $35,000 to $40,000 for an Integra at an Acura dealership to produce a decent amount of power these days, it's just essentially at the end of the day, it's cheaper to slap a turbo in it. Everything's turbo, so you can't have a non-turbo Integra at an Acura dealership and every Civic is turbo. I just don't think it works like that. So just assume that there's going to be a turbo in every model of the Integra. So, and there's nothing wrong with a 1.5 liter. I welcome it. The 1.5s, 1.6, 2.0. With the turbos and the technology today, man, you don't have to. I mean, I'm just so impressed with the K20C in the Type R. And, that's quote unquote old technology already. You can imagine what's going to be coming up new from Honda. I don't know how much more power you need to make. Like with the turbos and stuff, you don't need a 3.0 liter. You don't need I know people hate me saying this, but you don't even need a 6. You don't need a 6-cylinder, dude. Ask Amir with his NSX. You don't need a 6-cylinder, dude. Yeah, let's see. What else? Matt says, I'm thinking hybrid as well. It'll fit better with Acura. Yeah, so somewhere, here's the other toss-up, though. Somewhere in the Acura lineup, you already know Honda's pulling out of Formula One because they want to get into becoming one of the green. They've always been one of the greenest companies in the world. Even when they first started in Honda, environment was a real consideration back when people weren't considering the environment. So they are back to that, not back to that commitment, but they are really putting forth all their commitment to being what is it? The carbon, like zero carbon emissions by like in 20 years or something like that. Something in a very short amount of time, and they're putting all their effort into it. That's one of the reasons they say they're pulling out of Formula One. So, with that being said, somewhere, very, very soon, this is going to be sooner than you think. Like, there has to be a transition where Acura has to go somewhat electric, right? Where is it? So, here's a new Integra. So, they're going to introduce a new car. This new car, is it going to be NA? Is it going to, it's going to be, internal combustion engine? So it's going to be ICE for the next 5 years again? It doesn't make sense. There seems like a technology somewhere is going to have, electric technology is going to have to be dropped in here somewhere. So where better than to drop it than into right now with the Acura? Because if they're going to do it, if Acura is going to bring any kind of electric into anything, it's going to be a performance advantage. It's not going to be electric to make it suck. It's going to make it electric to make it awesome. And so a really cool place to drop it in. They already did it with the NSX. Those front wheels work. I drove one. So if they do want to introduce it, it'd be kind of cool to put in Integra. Maybe it's a little earlier. Maybe they should put in the other models like the TLs or whatever first. But I don't see why they couldn't. This is the newest. But who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So... Anyways, looking through here, Rob remembers my Turbo Magazine issue. I'm in it, bro. As a former Acura dealership employee, let me just say that they were definitely trying to be like Audi. Okay, cool. And that doesn't suck. Audi's amazing for people that know how well Audi has done. You guys know anything about Audi? They've won like how many years straight? Michael Bush will tell you how many years straight of like at Le Mans. They dominated racing there for so long. It's nasty. Let's see. Integra appeals to the enthusiast culture more than RSX, TSX. Name loyalty relates to the performance and lineage of the tech. Sure, names, but it has been somewhere along the line proven that luxury, it doesn't sound like luxury when you use a name. 3.2, M3, stuff like that. AM, I can't even think right now for whatever reason. But all those models, 500 SL, I don't even know if it's a real thing, but supposedly that's luxury. So Acura is trying to sound like luxury. So the Integra name got dropped for RSX, TSX, simplicity, right? TL, TLX, and blah, blah, blah. J.R. Rubenstein Towler made the render. Good job. I think I said his name right. J. Rubenstein Towler. J.R. J. Awesome. Same guy made the spy shots. What do you mean? He made spy shots too? Oh, are you talking about the other renders, not this render? Who did this render? I don't have credit for everybody. All right, let's see. Jay says if they pull a 400Z and take elements from the other car, cool. Let's see. I take that Integra. I think it's possible to release 2 different cars in 2 different countries. It is possible. Probable. We'll have to figure that out. So yeah, so you guys do see them releasing 2 different tags. The DC2 SDM with the round headlights, while Japan didn't get the front fascia. True, but I don't think the body's the same. But you're right, maybe... Oh, you know what? That's another idea. Maybe it's possible that it is the same chassis. There you go. That solves it. But it'd be very different. To be honest, I think... I don't know, man. I don't like saying it. But between this one and this one, because I love this one, I think this one's going to be dope. It's going to look hard. But of course, if you always want what you can't have. This one's going to look lightweight, svelte, fast, or quick. This one's going to look brutal. I want it to kind of have that heft to it. Like the FK8 as an example, Civic Type R. It's not the lightest Civic, you know that. We know that, but it's got brute force, dude. and that's what's probably going to come to this. This is going to have some brute force to it. Front ends, maybe. That's true. Maybe it is this one with that front end on it. I just don't see it really. Oh, they hid the fender line too. Look at them. They hid the hood line. It is a render. It's not a photo. And the fender line. So they're sneaky, man. Because obviously the fender does not go into the bumper, does not go into the hood. Like they really hid that. So that was on purpose. So because that was exactly where I went right now to try to figure out if that was the truth. And no, they hid that. Huh. Yeah, that's possible. So if that had this, let's see it. I just don't see it. It's got to be dramatically different to me. All right. Well, we'll find out, right? All right. What else are you guys saying? TLX front with that grill. I know. That's why it seems like it's very plausible. It could be it. So NSX though is actually under Honda still in Japan, yes. And Acura in the US is like the older NSXs. I don't know what that means, but I understand the NSX is the same in both countries. 93 and 97, and they're all built in the United States. 93 to 97 had 2 different headlights, front bumper for US. Yep. For sure. There was a manga series called Shapakan Boogie that was focused on Bosozoku cars. What's up, Ghost Fighter? Bosozoku. Bosozoku. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Michael Bush, I remember your comment. You did say that that the CTR will always be front wheel drive. And you know, I got no problem with it. There's nothing wrong with front wheel drive. Everybody that says stuff that's wrong with front wheel drive, you're crazy, dude. Front wheel drives jam. Now, are they different to drive? Yes, but dude, to start to think that they're like, you know, it's weird because, you know, I won't go on this rant, but front wheel drives are supposed to be at a really big disadvantage. In time trial, they're not, because you try to just punch out one lap, and as long as your tires can last one lap, which most of them do, you're okay. So, but dude, they're fast. The person who has got the record, like, I don't know if it's been broken, but if it is, it takes an immense amount of energy to break the records from PZ Tuning Will. Everything that, all the records from all the time attacks are from PZ Tuning Will. It's in a, I think, an FG2 Civic, right? Front wheel drive only. All right. Oh, dude, there's a ton of comments. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna try to go. Will this go up in value, Fly Air? What does that mean? Or is it too soon to know? Like, if you buy it right now, I mean, they're gonna sell a ton of them. The Integra, if it comes out, 100%, they're gonna sell a ton. They're gonna try to sell a lot of them, and they will sell more than, like, for example, the Type R. They have to. That's marketing. I mean, financially, they have to do it. They have to sell a ton of them. In Japan, the DC5 Type S is just their base model 5-speed. Then they only have the DC5 Type R. Okay. Type S for the Integra will be listed as Integra Type S for the U.S. market and Type R for the Japanese market. Maybe. I kind of highly doubt it, though. If they're gonna have a Type S in the United States, they're not gonna replicate the Type. They're not gonna replicate the Type R and put it in the United States as a Type S. Not happening. Literally, I do not think so. That would be a really bad move. But I'm thinking about this for a second. Maybe they're trying to take Type R out of the Acura lineup, so the Type R is only for Honda. Then that's possible. But the Type S is a level down from the Type R, so I don't understand why they would do that. If anything, Type R should have been taken by Acura, and Honda should have always remained SI or something like that. Interesting though. The rear in the rendering is RSX's. RSXy. Prelude, for sure, no way. I don't think there's any way that thing's coming back as a two-door. Maybe they'll go back into SCCA stuff. See, I haven't won an Acura since 05 RSX. Yeah, I mean, the ILX did not do it for us. Real-time racing, yeah, they would know. They'd be planning this already. They would definitely be planning this, and that'd be really cool to bring them back. Can you imagine in the colorway, the white and what is it, orange? And then there's Reed. Guys, I'm about to set the truck on fire. Can't fix this damn regulator and get the glasses set in the rubber tray. You don't need windows, bro. It's not winter yet. Let's see. The Honda didn't have a very good gut this last season. I didn't watch Super GT. That's a good point, maybe. Super GT has a whole set of different rules, though. And they take those cars apart. Yeah, exactly. Turbo also helps meet the emission standards and fuel. Turbos get away with a lot. Yeah, something like that. It may be power plant. I don't want a hybrid though. On a personal level, I know I'm all about electric, full electric. I'm not really about hybrid. So for me personally, like hybrids, like the hybrids that you can't run full electric and you can't go full ICE. You have to run both all the time, like basically. What's the car like that? Like hybrid Priuses or something? Like I got a full electric motor in there, but I can't use it. I liked how Chevy Volt originally did it. You go full-time electric. You have the gas-powered gasoline engine there for whenever you needed it, but most of the time you run electric. I don't know anything more about the car than that, but that was the concept I liked. That didn't make sense to me, that you would make a hybrid just to get better gas mileage. And that better gas mileage was like 42 miles to the gallon, when we all know the Civic like CX and VX were running like 80 miles to the gallon on regular gasoline. So that did not impress me. So I've never bought a hybrid, never wanted to buy a hybrid. Let's see. Gotta compete with Lucid, Workhorse, Tesla at some point. They will have electric motors like the NSX. The NSX will probably, the next version is probably going to be full electric. And I wouldn't hate on that. Dude, it's coming, guys. What's up, Adam? Honda's going with electric on crossovers. GM is building them for Honda or something like that. Yep. So there is a big partnership between Honda and GM. GM's going to be building all the electric stuff, which I don't want to speculate too many other things, but that says a lot of things to me that I don't want to talk about right now, because I think I was told something that I wasn't supposed to know yet, and I don't want to say anything. So, luxury, random numbers and letters, not words. Spoiler, Dennis knows what it looks like. It's the giveaway car. How sick would that be? Honda, if you're listening, that'd be a great debut for the car. Giveaway on max boost. You're just hyped that we're all in here in the chat room watching a discussion about an Integra. Yeah, right? This was not a discussion we were going to have, what, 4 weeks ago? No one knew. All right, make it the Integra Type X, and unknown variable donut media. Is that what he said? The Type X. HPJ and Brian are saying that Honda has always only had the Type R in the USA. Acura was always the only Type S in the USA, so they think it might stay that way. No. I don't know why people forgot. The original Type R in the USA was a freaking Acura Integra. People forget that. I don't know how. I'm like, the Acura Integra was the first Type R in the United States. Acura had Type R. But unless what you're saying, Mike, is Type S is always a USA brand. And that's true, right? There's no Acura, there's no Type S in Japan. The hybrid I'm talking about is a Porsche 918 model. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's kind of like the NSX, right? In the same kind of ways, multiple motors and blah, blah, blah. Powering different wheels. Integra will be hybrid. With what? ERS. What's ERS? The old TL Type S's were awesome. I had a CL Type S. Bought that brand new off the showroom floor. Back then, like I said, with autocannon money and all that stuff. You know what my down payment was on my Type S? CL Type S. How old was I? 24, 25, 26, 27. Not 20. Like somewhere in my mid-20s. You know what a down payment was for my CL Type S? Acura at the dealership. I put down $17,500. Cash. That was the dumbest. Dude, the salesman himself from Acura, God, bless his heart. He looks at me and goes, Dennis, he goes, dude, if you got that kind of cash, he's like, bro, you don't need to buy a car, man. Go get a house. And I'm like, I'm getting this car. I'm getting this car. I got a date on Monday, so I want a new car for that date. You guys think I'm joking? And I had a new car by that date. Red CL Type S. Well, not really a date, but someone was flying out. I'm talking too much right now. And I'm like, this would be cool. Surprise her with this. Hey. Not a date. It wasn't a date. I'm tripping. Not that kind of date. Okay. This is all recorded. I'm screwed. My guest totally forgot the OG Type R in the USA. Shakes your head. Yeah, exactly, bro. Integra was 98, 99, 2000, right? 2000, 2001? No, 99, 2000, 2001. 99, 2000, 2001. I don't remember. Let's see. Live in the car, you'll be all right. Luli had a TL Type S with the manual swap? Wow. The Type S, I didn't have a manual at the time. I was going luxury status. They didn't have the manual available until the year after that. And I was like, dang it. Rob, there's a lot of few old heads in here, man. Oh my god. Dang, Dennis, no cap in. Had a girl fly out for him to go on a date. Yo, I need to learn your ways. No cap. Bro, dude. It's happened more than once.